Talking Shirts is presented in partnership with White Oak Cottage. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Hello, and welcome to episode number 133 of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike from Hull Car Shirts, and today we're going to take a look at Ben Crooks' 2019 away shirt. Now, the 2019 away shirt was a part of a trio of kits for the 2019 season, and it was probably the first time where I looked at all three kits and thought, okay, we're onto something here. And I think ever since then, Elite Pro Sports with X-Blades and with Oxen and Hull KR have done a fantastic job in providing trios of kits for the club and for the fans for the last sort of 5 or 6 years. Like I say, 19 was the breakthrough year for me. Obviously, we'd been with X-Blades from 2017, and the trios weren't awful, but I just think that 2019 was the real sort of like, okay, now I'm paying attention. You know, these were absolutely fantastic. So as you can see here with this away shirt, it is an all-over blue affair with quite a bit of white detailing. So we've got AC Enviro, FTP, X-Blades, Hull KR Club crest and Motor Depot, which has been dye sublimated in white onto the front of the shirt. We have got a lovely white V-neck collar. It's not too often these days that we get a V-neck collar on a shirt. Mostly now they're a very similar sort of crew neck with slight sort of inset collar style. But this one is almost, I'd almost say quite deep really. A V-neck style, maybe akin to the 1980s, which this shirt was kind of based on as an alternate shirt from that era, with the sort of deep V. The collar does have an overlap with some reinforced stitching in there as well. And this one is such a simplistic affair, but for me, it's really, really strong in its aesthetics. Sometimes less is more. So as you can see on this sleeve here, we have got some design elements going on too. So we have the all blue sleeve, but we do have this kind of white panel or stripe that goes all the way down from the collar all the way through to the cuff. It does break slightly for the sleeve sponsors, and on this side we have got Outbox and their little logo above there. And then we have also got Heta, Engineering the Future, and this is a sleeve patch that's been heat applied. Now you can see that when this has been heat applied, there's been some crinkling to the shirt. And it hasn't actually been laid out flat, because if you look at it, there's quite a lot of creases, there's a lot of cracking. I mean, look how many cracks are along the top of there. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This bit here is where the outer stitch has been sort of pressed into the design. Rather than putting any level of protection in the middle, it's just been heat applied straight onto. And that's why you get elements of things from underneath showing. And these elements here have ripped because when they've been heat applied, there's been a crease in the shirt. The minute that a player puts on a shirt or it gets pulled, it's going to tear. And that is what's happened with this competition patch on this sleeve here. There's quite a bit for us to talk about this sleeve patch as well. So the sleeve design is exactly the same. And we break up here for the Easy Buy logo, your local weekly payment company. And then just underneath here, we have got the competition patch. Now, this Betfred Super League competition patch has seen so much wear, it's untrue. You can see quite a lot of damage to here, and you can actually see this little bit here, and this is where underneath we have got the dye sublimated logo that has been printed into the shirt. It's slightly smaller than these competition patches, so if it's lined up properly you can't actually see it underneath, but because it's not been lined up square perfectly you can just see that underneath. And you can also see where this sort of footprint is around the edge, and that's because this shirt also had a Challenge Cup patch applied to it. So this shirt was potentially worn against Salford Red Devils in the Challenge Cup. I believe we wore this shirt at the AJ Bell in a game where we defeated the Salford Red Devils in the Challenge Cup. I think it was a period of time where the Robins were struggling for a victory, but we managed to find one in the Challenge Cup against Salford, which progressed us into the next round. That has been completely removed, and then this competition patch has been applied over the top, but because it's smaller you can still see the footprint of where the previous competition patch had been applied. There's also some sort of marking up here. I'm really not sure what this is. Just some sort of stains or... yeah, not quite sure, but yeah. I don't know if you can see that. I'll pop some pictures up for you. But yeah, some sort of game damage going on there as well, which, yeah, maybe some paint markings that have rubbed off, or just some sort of... it could be glue actually from the sleeve patch looking at the... you know, when it's been folded. I wonder if it's laid over. And anyway, whatever it is, interesting. I like it. Cool. Right, so that's been the front and the sides of this shirt. We're going to have a quick word from our sponsor, and then we'll have a chat about Ben Crooks and talk about the back of the shirt.
White Oak Cottage is a 2-bedroom luxury holiday cottage set in the stunning Lincolnshire Wolds. It has 2 ensuite bedrooms, a hot tub, wood burner, Wi-Fi, electric vehicle charger, and is pet friendly. It is ideally situated in the Wolds, yet only 15 miles from the coast and 25 miles from the historic city of Lincoln. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome back to episode number 133 of Talking Shirts. Before the break, we was talking our way around Ben Crooks' 2019 away shirt, and as I say now, we are back with the reverse. So the back of the shirt, that simplistic feeling that this shirt gives us continues onto the back. We have just this solid sort of panel of blue with white detailing over the top. So we've got RSV, the Archbishop Centremoot Academy, and Higher Base, who have had all of their logos dye sublimated in that monotone colour of white, which really just kind of lends to the aesthetics of the shirt. And then just below that, we have got Crooks, and then squad number 3, which has been heat applied. I think we're looking quite good there. Crooks, not quite perfectly lined up under here, but it's pretty good. And then same again with the 3, not fully central, just slightly offset. And then we have got one of Ben's signatures just to the side of the number there. So yeah, Ben Crooks, he made 80 appearances for Hull KR, signed sort of in the latter stages of the 2018 season. I'm sure everybody can quite fondly remember his debut at the then KCOM Stadium against Hull FC. Ben and Craig Hall both making their debuts, or in Craig's case, re-debut against Hull FC. In a game where nobody really gave the Robins a chance, but we did go on a couple of tries from Craig Hall, did see us to victory in that game, which was a whirlwind of emotions and weather. If you can remember the weather that night, the rain was absolutely teeming down. But yeah, that was the first appearance for Ben in a Hull KR shirt. As I say, he went on to make 80 of them. He scored 37 tries, 4 of them coming in the same game. You may remember fondly in the 2020 season. Yeah, quite early on, wasn't it? First game, I think it was against Wakefield, scored those 4 tries. And then obviously, you know, we remember the fastest try from that kick-off against Huddersfield as well, which was obviously, you know, quite a special moment. It's just a shame the stadium was empty for that one, as it was played behind closed doors because of the COVID protocols. Matt Parcell, man of the match that day. That's his shirt. I've got the medal from that game as well. So yeah, a few little things that can all kind of tie in there as we like to tell a story. Ben also kicked 15 goals during his Hull KR career, and had all those points up from his tries and his conversions. That did lead us to 178 points, which is a very sort of tidy amount for somebody that did just play 80 games for the club. I've been able to photo match this shirt to 2 different games. One of them was against Huddersfield on the 17th of May, and the other one was against the Wigan Warriors on the 9th of August. So yeah, a couple of games that we've been able to match this to. As I've said, it carries quite a lot of sort of wear and damage. You know, there's bits of it, as I've said, that are just falling apart. You know, there's a lot of this in here where it's just hanging apart. Like I say, it's, you know, all peeling and stuff. I will pop some pictures up so you can see. I don't think you get the true effect of that, just sort of like hanging around in there, and obviously the damage to the competition patches and stuff. You know, Ben certainly got a lot of wear out of this shirt during the 2019 season. Yeah, and it's one that I'm quite pleased to have in my collection. I do also have, as I've said before, Ben's debut shirt from that Hull FC game in my collection. So yeah, and I've also got the one where he scored the 4 tries at Wakefield. So I do have a few of Ben's shirts in my collection. You know, so yeah, it's one that I'm really pleased to have, definitely. Cool. Right, so that's been everything for episode number 133 of Talking Shirts. Hope you've enjoyed watching this episode with me today. Please feel free to check back in another couple of weeks where we'll be back with a brand new episode of Talking Shirts. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.